Is it true that there are certain kriyas and certain yogas that actually change your physical appearance heavily?
Yes.
What happens?
The cells start changing. The human cells begin to change. They get filled with more energy, which is normally not available to the human being. So they change. Even physically, a Kriya Yogi will, no, he may look similar to others, but there will be some change in him, which people can make out when they meet, when they talk. There's something about this guy which is uncanny. It's because it's not a deliberate thing. As you practice Kriya, the cells get charged with energy. And therefore, they are no longer like an ordinary cell.
What I've understood from a slightly scientific perspective is that your breathing becomes slower and deeper. Am I right in saying that?
Yes, your breathing becomes slower and deeper, but also the prana, the life energies which are usually not released from the centers called the plexuses, they get released. That's also there.
So your body holds energy in these packets,
Yes.
which gets opened up,
Opened up.
and everybody's got those energies as well,
Yes,
waiting to be opened up.
exactly.
Which is why I will now ask you about what Kundalini is. I have never asked this on the show. And I know it was an area of interest when you were young, and it's been an area of interest throughout your life, of course. But if someone's never heard of the word Kundalini, I would love for you to explain it, sir.
I avoid this word Kundalini because today it's a very exploited term. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is raising his Kundalini for $500 today. If you go onto the internet, that's not Kundalini, it's something else. I don't know what it is. Now, what is the meaning of the word Kundalini? Kundalini, Kula Kundali, it's called in the Tantras. Now, the Tantras have two sections. One is the Mantrayana section, it's dealing with mantras, where Sri Vidya and so on comes. The Yoga Tantras are those which deal with this energy in the human body. Now, what does it mean? The entire energy of the universe, which is complete, Purna. Parashakti is the word used by the Shaktas. This, and it is feminine. Creative energy is always depicted as feminine. So this Parashakti, after having done all its work, in the human being, where does it operate? First, it operates as sex. The sex and Kundalini are interrelated. It is the same energy, but in a different way. So, Kundalini, you don't want to, as a Shakti, is also called Bhujangi because it's like a snake. In the sense, there is no snake there, but it's coiled. And it raises its hood, meaning it awakens. This energy, through sex, creates another human being. It's a creative energy, right? So what happens in sex? The semen goes into a woman's womb, and then a new being is created. This is created by the same energy which we call Kundalini, acting through sex. Which is why somewhere people have got this connection between sex and Tantra, which of course has been exploited beyond recognition. Now, this energy, after having made a child, doesn't dissipate, it stays. Where does it stay? In the bottom of the spine, in the center called the Muladhara.
Your lowest chakra.
Lower center. Lowest not in the sense of low and high, but in the bottommost.
Physically
physically
placed in
low.
this.
Yes. So it stays there. And whenever a person has a sexual excitement or enjoyment, it is the same energy that operates. Now the yogi, what he does is, instead of allowing it to express itself too much in the sexual field, he controls it and turns it around and makes it ascend the spine. When it ascends the spine, then the Kundalini or the Shakti, whatever you want to call Bhujangi, becomes a spiritually creative energy, just as it becomes a physically creative energy through sex.
How do you turn it around?
Kriya is one of the practices meant to turn it around. from the Yoga Tantra point of view. There is another Shastra which is called the Mantrayana Tantra, which is Sri Vidya Upasana. Through Sri Vidya Upasana, some sounds are used and chanted to awaken it. But the best thing is a judicious combination of both.
And what is a fair amount of time if you're disciplined and dedicated to the process?
Now, this is a very difficult question to answer because it all depends on what
Stage of growth your soul
growth
is at.
you are and what you have come with from the past. Depends on these factors. But I think, so therefore you can't fix a fair amount of time in that kind of way. But I think that diligent practice with the understanding that you need to rise above the ordinary can help you to go there. But it's very difficult to fix. Some people happens fast and some people it takes some time. The idea is not to give up.
Because it'll carry on into your next birth.
Yes, and also I feel it's better that it goes slowly and matures rather than suddenly happens, because the energy is so powerful that there are cases when it has suddenly happened and the body and the mind is not able to cope with it and people become somewhat semi-crazy.
When you say crazy, what happens?
Suddenly there's a spurt of energy which they don't know how to place, how to control. They sort of behave in strange ways.
And maybe some people might consider them to be possessed when this is
Yes,
happening.
possible. Or mad. They're not actually mad. They're seeing things and hearing things and going with because something has happened in them. So I think the best thing is that it happens in a slow pace till the whole mind and body becomes mature to take the impact of the arousal. That's why I'm very concerned when people give techniques without preparing the person properly. I'm very concerned. And because I get people writing to me on mail, email, and so on, saying, I went to so and so, somebody. He taught me this, and now what has happened? My whole body is shaking. Something is going up my spine. I can't eat and drink. I'm suffering. Please help me. Now, I always tell them, look, you have to go back to that person and ask, what did you learn? What did you teach? And he should be able to help you. Then they say he's unreachable. If he's unreachable, then what kind of a teacher are you? So, you know what I'm trying to
You need a stable, experienced guru to teach you these things.
You need a stable person to teach one thing. Second is, you should follow through if you taught somebody something. Because it's unexplored territory largely. And you don't know where the pitfalls are. The poor guy doesn't know. So you need to. So I do it very carefully. I don't generally easily give to people. Not because I'm trying to hide it. It's for their own good.
So is your Kundalini rising the same as you getting enlightenment? Is it the same, or moksha or nirvana, or are they two different things?
According to the Yoga Shastras, generally, Kaivalya or moksha happens when the energy has risen and gone to the Sahasrara. However, I feel and I know that there are cases of people who do not practice Kriya Yoga or who don't practice Kundalini Yoga in particular, who have also become illumined. But it has happened without their conscious effort.
Without their conscious effort. So just happened.
Happened because their mind has become so purified, and over many lives they've been working towards it. They don't need to go through this process. But it has awakened in some centers. It may not have gone through the usual yogic course from Muladhara to the Sahasrara. There are cases of people for whom suddenly the energy has opened up in the heart center. They suddenly feel that all the bliss and feelings and energies and thoughts and attention has come to, for instance, the anahat.
In their heart chakra.
Hearts. And there is a great amount of bliss. They don't know anything about the Muladhara, nothing, it suddenly come. So there are such cases also who have not systematically done the Kriya, but who have touched that by finding out their true identity by asking questions like, who am I? Am I this body or am I something else? And then it can happen.